You're right there, guys, what's going on? Welcome to something new that could be going down on the channel, a mini series where I take your suggestions. It could be high rated players, low rated special cards, or a full team that I take into FUT champs against those god squads, and I want to see how we can fare. So in a fun concept, in live games, and really today's video is to discuss that and see how we can properly set it out. So please do leave a like, and if you are needing game codes or anything game related, head over to g2.com. Use the code Fuji on that site to get a discount on every single order. Links in the description. Go and check him out, and let's go. So on FIFA 19, we have two accounts. The main one, which is the RTG, where we really grind, we work our way up to the mega team in FUT champs. But this one, I haven't really been playing too much on, and I thought, why not put together a Newcastle United team? I had to play a few games, first of all, in Div Rivals to qualify, and I took it into FUT champs, and to my surprise, I had a lot of fun. Just the goals that I was scoring, and it meant something, because it was hard to build up play. I think if you guys are stressing in FUT champs, you should try something like this, because losing games, it means nothing. You, of course, are going to lose a couple of games, but we went on a pretty nice streak. So I thought, let's turn this into a series where I keep track of how each team is getting on, take your recommendations on what players, and it could be anything, you know, high rated cards, icons, anything that you would want me to build, let me know in the comment section. But this is the Newcastle team that I rocked with in a 4-2-2 formation. Alan Shearer, I bent the rules a little bit. I didn't want to go for a pass and present. I wanted a full Newcastle team, but with the prime icon moments, Alan Shearer. 875,000 coins, 10 games, 16 goals, 6 assists, 3-star weak foot, which is not really that good for a striker, but he did score a few on it. 2-star skill moves is very poor. Then his in-game stats, his pace is there, his shooting is pretty much perfect, his passing is okay, his dribbling, we'll talk about that in a second, and his physical stats are very, very good. So I played him alongside Rondon, and in a few of those games, I did stick on an attribute card just because I wanted to feel what a team of the year Rondon would play like, and goddamn was it good. 6'1" though, 4-star weak foot, 3-star skill moves, 10 games, 6 goals, 4 assists, and his in-game stats aren't actually that bad for a fun player to use. Of course, he's not hitting and meeting the meta, but he's well, it was fun for me, and his shot power is unbelievable. Then we had Ayose Perez, 10 games, 3 goals, 2 assists, 650 coins, 4-star, 4-star. If only he could get like a footies card or something that would really give him that boost to make him playable, because he's already got like the good weak foot skill move set, his height is quite nice, and he's got a good base stat to build up on. Like, he's quite well balanced, I would say, and in game he doesn't feel so bad. On the opposite side, we had Almiron, recently signed, 10 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, terrible weak foot. In fact, what I should have done is switch these two in game, and his in-game stats, yeah, he's got the pace, he's got the dribbling. How was his finishing though? I'll speak about that. 2 CDMs, Diami alongside John Joe Shelby. Did he score any goals? No. Did Shelby score any goals? No. So what are they doing? Stopping my opponents from scoring, and that's what I was feeling. But looking at the defense, we dropped in Yedlin. I kind of went off of this card, but then using him in a mega team, you really feel what he's able to do because of the support around him, and then that gives him the license to push on and help support the play. Lascelles, it was like a 50-50, you know. We had Fabian Scher that was doing his best to stop my opponents getting through, and he even scored a very nice finesse shot on the edge of the box, by the way. Yeah, finesses are dead, not for this man. Look at his in-game stats. If only he could like creep into the lower end team of the seasons, I would really like that. I think overall, maybe me being biased because I watch Newcastle and want them to get special cards, I think he's done enough to get into the reserves. It's been really consistent for us, and I just like the look of this, and again, it's something to build up on. But Lascelles, we'll talk about him. Bradka, this is a loan card, and then the Bradka in goal. Was he good? You're gonna see some weird goals being conceded. So going into the clips, this is all being pre-recorded, but when we properly start the series, you guys can give me some advice. Would you like to see live games where we get involved in the action? But this game, the first one, is in Div Rivals. Because I didn't have enough points to qualify for the weekend league, the way EA have done it now, you can even play on the Friday and get yourself enough points to then qualify before, I think it's Saturday morning, something like 8 or 9 o'clock on the Saturday. That would leave only 2 more days to play, but it's still okay. You can grind out 30 games in 2 days quite comfortably. So with the idea of the series, I want to bring up some graphics. I want to keep track of like 3 key players from that team and really just break it down to give you guys some advice with maybe the lower end players. If you're looking to do something like this for yourselves, we could be using expensive squads, but I think it would be better for the series and more intense if I played like the first 10 games and got that out of the way, because usually like the first 5 are quite easy before you're ranked, and then after the 10th game it's quite difficult, and I want to see how I can fare against all of these pay to win squads, sweat squads, you know, and just really hope that my team can turn up. And as it was the Newcastle side, my supported club, I was just loving it, you know. Every single goal that went in, when Rondon got his big old head on it, it felt good. And I had that sense of achievement. And when I was grinding out and winning games in the 90th minute, I felt that passion. Look at that goal, Rondon, man. But with the way this team played, in the weekend league, you've got prime icon moments, Alan Shearer. Now his weak foot is okay because of his finishing being so high, but it's not really the ideal shot to take. You just want to get it on that right and shoot it any which way it's going to go in. He's got a sledgehammer of a strike. His skill moves are terrible, and the way he feels on the ball, I was playing about with those attribute cards and I stuck on one for his dribbling, and it was improved, but he still felt heavy. And if you're using just like the regular prime icon on its own, you need some serious support around him. But what he's good at is putting the ball in the back of the net and winning it in the air. So if you like that type of striker and you're not someone that wants to take div rivals or even the weekend league too serious, you're going to really enjoy that Alan Shearer type striker, because from corners I was scoring a lot more with him and there were quality headers at that. But alongside him, I did say at the start of the video that I may have accidentally put a +10 on Rondon, and there was one moment in a game where I was taking a shot, and because he was so strong and powerful, some of my opponents were like, you know, I was a defender from my opponent's team, he was hanging off his ear, like he was on top of him. I don't know what happened to the impact engine, and I just shrugged him off and I still got my shot away. It was insane, and that was what Rondon was offering me, just the power, the pace. But when I was playing with just the regular inform upgrade, his shooting is surprisingly really good, and he's another like cheaper alternative to an Alan Shearer if you're looking for that kind of striker to hold on to the play, typical like target man, and he's pretty good with it, and I do like the way he was shooting. Then I was really impressed with Jose Perez. Now he's one of my favorite Newcastle players right now. I know that he can be lazy at times, and sometimes the end product, like picking out a pass, isn't too good. But when I was using him in these games, he was stepping up. He felt good on the ball. He was much better than Almiron just because of the 4-star, and some of the finishes. I would expect an Mbappe to be scoring them, not an Jose Perez. And this is what I was not understanding. When I was looking at the chances that I'd create on the RTG and miss, I come to play with this Newcastle side and they were scoring goals at ease. Why is that? What do you think it is? Let me know in the comments. But on the opposite side, I was using Almiron, and overall, I wasn't really too impressed with what he was offering. Like, he had a bit of pace and stuff, but he felt pretty weak compared to Jose. The two CDMs, John Joe Shelby and Diame. And I must admit, I did balance the side using chem styles. I went and purchased like all shadows, all hunters to give them the best possible chance. Diame is underrated for a 75 rated CDM non-rare, and the partnership of John Joe Shelby, because of his work rates, I think it's like low medium. He's not going to move, so I was, well, not keeping my opponent out comfortably, but I wasn't defending that poorly with this side that surprised me. And then you look at the defense, Yedlin just with that recovery speed was really helpful, but Fabian Schär, this man, I don't know if it was because of the team that I was playing him in, but he came alive, you know. He was the star player in that defense, and if he did get a team of the season or a couple of upgrades, I wouldn't really mind using him. If he went out to like an 86, I think that's a pretty decent centre back. His jumping is ridiculous, attacking balls from corners, his defending for me was just fantastic, and the kind of goals as well that were just flying in. I want to do this series, and if you want to see it, please do let me know. The Bradka, the thing with using bad keepers, right? I don't mind conceding the goals, but when it's completely fake, like some of the headers that went in against him, I believe it was like Thiago Silva, he jumped and it went across everybody, and Dubravka, all he had to do was move slightly to the left to save it, but they purposely messed up his animation. Now that's what triggers me. Even a silver or bronze keeper in that situation probably would have saved it, but just because it's Dubravka, you know, it goes in. So I wasn't really liking him, but it was just Shearer and Rondon that gave me that enjoyment using this team. So if you want to see it, let me know in the comment section. Please recommend the next team, and if you think it is a good idea to get up to the first like 10 games and then go from there, because after I did, I noticed some pretty decent players that I was coming up against, and it was difficult, but that's the whole fun of it, you know. Maybe we won't use a team as bad as this one, but maybe that's what will be enjoyable. Alan Shearer though, he had a nasty finish, and I think the record just speaks for itself. Was it 10 games, 16 goals? That's not bad for an Alan Shearer type striker, and for his price on the market, he's under 1 million coins, so maybe if you're into that, he might play well for you. But boys, that's where I'm going to be ending the Newcastle team. I actually went on a streak of, what was it, like 7 games unbeaten. I don't know how. 7 games unbeaten with this side. Really enjoyable. Let me know what team you'd like to see next. Please do leave a like, and I will see you on the next one. Team out. Peace.